Okay, in today's video, we're going to be learning about how, or the basic tuning of a chassis. This is the a chassis 60 by Novena. I probably pronounced that wrong, but okay. So first, what you're going to want to do is you're going to have to click on this arrow on the side and click a chassis tune. Double click that, and you'll get all of this. So first, what you want to start off with is probably weight. So let's say you have a car. Let's say like an SUV. So, I don't know, Lamborghini, whatever. Lamborghini years. This car, if you put this car on this A chassis, this car's probably going to weigh a lot. So, let's say, so you have that car, so you probably want to put it to, like, let's say 4,000 pounds. But if you have like a race car, like a McLaren or something, then you probably want to put like a 2,500. Really depends. You can just put you can keep it. Weight distribution, as it says here, weight distribution 0 on the rear wheels, 100 on the front wheels. So like how much weight is going on either side. Then suspension, you don't really need to mess with that. Then you have horsepower. We're not gonna go over tuning electric cars because I quite literally can't. So horsepower. So if you want your car, horsepower is pretty much a number where like horsepower means how much power is going down. So like 1 horsepower is slow, 1,000 horsepower is fast. You could keep tweaking with this. So let's say 200 horsepower. 200 horsepower. I'm gonna spawn in right now. So 200 horsepower would be about, along with the weight also matters. But 200 horsepower would look more or less like this. Along with the weight, it's not the fastest. And then say like 1,000 horsepower would be look somewhat like what you're about to see now. So let it spawn in. Let me spawn in. So this would be more of 1,000 horsepower. See the speed difference? So there's a little speed difference there, just a little look at. So let's say I want my car to be, I don't know, 600 horsepower. Now what you're going to want to do is RPMs, red line and peak RPM, where the horsepower reaches peak. What I usually do is, let's say if you want a really fast car that goes really quick with a higher top speed, you can really much tweak with this. Like for say 8,000 RPM for your rev limiter, and 6,800 would be where your horsepower reaches peak. When the horsepower reaches peak is you can tweak to your liking, but the peak RPM is really what chooses how fast your car goes without tweaking the gearing. So let's say you're gonna go 200 miles per hour with this with 8,000 RPM top. So 200 miles per hour. Oh my god, 800 miles per hour. 200 miles per hour would be the top speed on your car if you have if your RPMs, if your max RPM is 8,000. And that's not even touching the gearing. The gearing can also change a bunch of this, but this is just simple. Engine idle, you can go from 600 to 1,000. I would usually go 750. And I usually would change this to, like, let's say 200 less, or 200 to 500 less than the peak. But for most you can search up what car you want, but most like fast cars top out to 10,000 to 12,000 RPM. Well, that's supercars. So I would say I put this to 9,500. Okay, so now the top speed should be a little higher. The top speed will be, I don't know, I'll just shoot a guess out there. Let's say 250? 250, something around there. Maybe more, maybe less. Yeah, 250, yeah. About 250. So, to 2230. Yeah, I top out about 250 miles per hour. So that would pretty much be the basic. But another thing that affects the torque is turbochargers. Turbocharger, you can mess with this. You have 1 turbocharger, 2 turbochargers, no turbochargers. It just adds like a little boost. Let's say I have 1 turbocharger. 1 turbocharger, you can change the boost and blah. That's nothing really special. And then if you scroll down a bit more, you'll find tune, final drive, and tune ratios. This is how many gears you have. If you want to figure out if you want to add more gears, it's a bit tricky. But what we're going to really look at is final drive. So final drive really, a lower final drive, let's say 1, would have a higher top speed, but your acceleration is going to be slower. As you can see here. So right now, my final drive is 1. So with a final drive of 1, my top speed will be somewhere stupidly high. Like I can go 840, but my car's acceleration will be insanely slow. That might not look slow to you, but that is quite slow. And who cares about a car that goes 820 miles per hour? But with a higher final drive, let's say I have a final drive of 54, heck no, final drive of 5, I'm going to have a lower top speed, so without changing the final drive originally was 3.541, I think. So that final drive would give you, with all the tuning, would have around 250 miles per hour. Now with a gearing of 5, I have a top speed of 180, but I'm way faster. So the car will be way faster. So that's pretty much basically what you can do. So let's say, I don't know, I want my car to be a pretty fast car, but not with a high top speed. So my gearing, I'd put like the, I don't know, the 6.2, I would say. So with the 6.2 gearing, I'd get, I think, somewhere around 120 to 130 top speed, which is not the worst top speed. But my acceleration with around 600 horsepower, along with 1 turbocharger, should be pretty good. Yeah, I have a top speed of 140, but the speed is pretty quick. Okay, that's it. Now, before we go to braking, I'm going to do one last thing. So, let's say, I don't know. Go to, you scroll down, you go to trans modes. Trans modes as in transmission modes. Semi, you'll have to press E and Q to shift to first, second, third. If you're a newbie, you would probably go to auto. Just keep it at auto. So auto will be the only gearing you'll have. So if you select your car to only have auto, your car will shift automatically. But if you press M, which would change the transmission mode, you will not have any others. If you choose. So I have auto, I'm pressing M right now, and I don't have, but it'll shift automatically for me. Look, I'm not touching anything, I'm just touching W, which is for acceleration. You can also use the up arrow, but yes. But if I want my car to, let's say, only have manual, I will go down to transmission modes, or trans modes. What you're gonna have to do is, I want mine to have auto, and let's say auto and manual, so you're gonna have to add 2 quotation marks. I have to put MANUAL. Another quotation marks to go around this manual. And then you have to add a comma. Why isn't my... Yeah, okay, you have to have 2 quotations, comma, and then 2 quotations for your other gearing mode. So when you have that, you should only have... You should only have automatic and manual. If you want semi, do the same thing. That's pretty much it. So now if I go into my car and I press M automatic and manual. So you can change the order of the gears too. I put manual first, so I'll spawn in as manual, but if I press M, I'll have auto. Manual is a little different. Manual, you have to gear up, you have to hold shift as in the clutch, and E to go to change the gear. You have to hold shift every single time you want to shift, but it's much quicker. That's pretty much it. But if you have auto, it'll shift automatically. You just have to press the gas pedal and it will just shift automatically for you. See, no clutch, no anything. Even though it says clutch over there, that's just an automatic clutch. So that's pretty much the basic thing. Now moving on to braking. So you're gonna have to. So these are all just the main stuff. Brake acceleration applied per tick. What you're going to try to find. Steering speed is pretty self-explanatory. Suspension, blah blah. I don't mess with anything. I will only show you throttle acceleration applied per tick. Throttle deceleration, brake acceleration. No, you don't touch any of that. So all you're gonna have to find is where's brake force? Total brake force. I think it should be brake force. I think it should be called brake torque. But let's say you want your brake force to be 8,500. You're gonna have, at least you should have, pretty strong brakes. Which, by the way, brakes would be S or the down arrow key. And turning would be the left arrow key, right arrow key, or A or the A or D. Which all the controls on the bottom when you go into the car. You should see controls on the bottom. Yeah, this pops up. You have this. So now your brake should be really good. So see, your brake force is really good. Holding the brakes. Let's say I'm at 60 miles per hour or less than that. I slam on the brakes. It's good brakes. But if I change my brake force to, let's say, something, because you're gonna have to find brake force obviously. But brake force, if you have a brake force of, like, let's say 500, your brakes are not going to be as good, obviously, because your brake force is going to be different. Once you join into the game, you will see that your brakes have either gone better or worse depending on what you've done. So let's say I'm at 60 miles per hour. 60 miles per hour, brake. I'm slamming on the brakes, but my brake force is literally trash, so I am braking very, very slowly. Right to idle. So that is pretty much the basics of tuning an A chassis. And if you need more information, you can go into the ROBLOX logs or blah or whatever they call it, the ROBLOX dev forums. But that's pretty much it. So that's how you would tune your A chassis version 6C by Novena. I forgot. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. But that's pretty much how you would tune it. And that's going to be it for now.